Hey, welcome to my channel. Imagine, it's the last hours of the night. Your children are sleeping peacefully. The streets outside are completely silent. The air is still. Nothing feels wrong. Nothing feels different. Then, at exactly 5:12 in the morning, the ground moves, not slowly, not gently, violently. In just a few seconds, entire buildings collapse into clouds of dust. Church bells ring by themselves. The air fills with smoke, scream, and then silence. By sunrise, thousands of people are already dead, and one of America's greatest cities has been swallowed by its own foundations. This is not a story. This actually happened. Tonight, we travel back in time to one of the darkest mornings in American history, the day a city disappeared. Chapter 1, Before the Disaster, 1:30 to 4. San Francisco in 1906 was one of the most powerful cities in America. Streets were crowded with horse-drawn wagons and busy merchants. Factories ran day and night without stopping. Children played freely in open streets without fear. New buildings reached higher into the sky every single year. People believed in this city. They believed the future belonged to them. They believed nothing could stop them, but nobody knew that deep beneath their feet, something had been silently waiting for centuries. A massive crack in the earth, called the San Andreas Fault, had been storing energy for hundreds of years. Every single normal morning, every peaceful sunrise was one day closer to complete and total destruction. Nature was not angry. Nature was not cruel. It was simply waiting. And when it finally moved, it showed absolutely no mercy. Chapter 2. The morning everything changed, 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock. April 18th, 1906. Wednesday morning, just before sunrise. Most families were still in their beds. Children were dreaming. Mothers were sleeping. Fathers had not yet risen for work. Then, without any warning at all, a deep, terrible rumble rose from beneath the ground. Some people thought it was thunder rolling in from the ocean. Others believed a train had crashed somewhere nearby. But then, the shaking became violent beyond anything anyone had ever felt. Brick buildings exploded outward into massive clouds of gray dust. Roads cracked open like broken bones. Water pipes beneath the streets burst instantly. People ran barefoot and screaming into the open streets. Parents searched desperately through the rubble for their children, calling their names, screaming into the dust. Some found them. Many never did. But the earthquake itself was only the beginning, because beneath the broken streets, gas pipes had snapped in hundreds of places, and those broken gas lines began to catch fire. Small flames appeared here and there. Then those small flames found more gas, more wood, more buildings. And within hours, the fires had become a monster the city could not control. Firefighters rushed from every direction. They pulled their hoses. They pointed them at the flames. But when they turned on the water, almost nothing came out. The earthquake had already destroyed most of the water pipes underground. There was almost no water left in the entire city to fight the fire. So the fire kept burning, hour after hour, street after street, block after block. The smoke turned the morning sky completely black. People ran with nothing. No shoes, no money, no food, just the clothes on their backs. Everything else was already gone. Chapter 3, Surviving the Ruins, 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock. The survivors gathered in the open parks. Golden Gate Park became a city of the homeless. Tens of thousands of people slept on the cold ground. Some had blankets. Most had nothing at all. Food disappeared within hours. Hospitals were completely overwhelmed. Doctors treated patients in the streets because the buildings were gone. Entire neighborhoods that had existed for decades vanished completely. Families wrote the names of missing loved ones on scraps of paper and pinned them to trees and fences, hoping, just hoping, that someone would see them. 3 days later, The fires finally stopped, not because anyone put them out, but because there was simply nothing left to burn. And the silence that followed was somehow more frightening than the earthquake itself, because in that silence, people finally understood. The city they had loved, the city they had built, the city they had believed in, was gone. 3,000 people dead, 300,000 people homeless, 28,000 buildings destroyed in just 3 days, ending 12 o'clock to 15 o'clock. And yet, the people of San Francisco refused to disappear. They did not leave. They did not give up. They rebuilt, one brick at a time, one family at a time, one street at a time. 1 year later, construction had already begun across the entire city. 10 years later, San Francisco was alive again. Today, millions of people walk those same streets every single day. They drink their coffee, they laugh with their friends, they watch the sun set over the bay, and most of them never think about what lies beneath the ground under their feet. History loves to remember victories. It loves celebrations and triumphs. But sometimes, the most important lessons history teaches us come not from our greatest victories, but from our most devastating losses. Because every peaceful city has a story buried beneath it. A story of fire, a story of loss, a story it hopes it never has to tell again. So tonight, when you close your eyes and the streets outside go quiet and everything feels perfectly normal, remember San Francisco. Remember April 18th, 1906. Remember that the ground beneath us has a memory too. Sleep well, and remember, history never truly stays buried.